Yo. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Welcome back to our live stream here on Twitch. I'm your humble host, Phantom Freak, aka Moist Master Flex. Back once again with the thick behavior. Yeah, we guys had a good weekend, a good Monday, good start to your week. I certainly had a good weekend. I was a really fucking busy weekend, actually. What did I do? I went, let's see, on Friday I stayed home. And then Saturday I had to both DJ a wedding, and then we had our after hours too. So it was a really long day Saturday. But yeah, I made it through. Really dope after hours. Yeah, J Boy, Crystal Tongues, Rhiannon Rose, Hotfire, and myself. Really dope show. Really nice turnout. We have our next one actually coming up in October. I don't have the flyer just yet, but we're probably gonna announce that on like Wednesday or something. But it's gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a good one. All right, let's dive into our tunes here. We got Activator from Tubalo. We got, I don't know, it's My Friend. My Friend Remix on 3000 Bass. We got Fresh Cut Freaks, Volume 5. We got In the House from myself on Thick Freakness. We got Menace, out now on Bite This with MC Kane. And then we got Synchronicities, which just came out last week. And then brand new, this is actually coming out this Friday. Touch, me and Rhiannon Rose on Garage Shared. Nice little garage tune. There's one that I forgot to put up here. But please, yeah, go pre-save that Touch tune on Garage Shared. That'll be out this Friday. And then we have Party Favors from Spencer Arnold. That'll be coming out next Friday on the 26th. So yeah, plenty of tunes out there. Go like, listen, share, download, all that good stuff. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm going to probably announce our next after hours on Wednesday. I don't have the flyer just yet, but I can tell you who's going to be on the lineup. It's going to be Jules, it's going to be Tombs, myself, Dare 80, and Koshka. So yeah, we have Dare 80 playing a birthday set, as well as Tombs. Tombs is coming out from Chicago to play a birthday set. So yeah, gonna be a dope one. And then and then I will be, whoops, not that one. Oh, not that one either. Huh. I guess I don't have it on here. Yeah. I'm gonna be in Phoenix next month, October 18th, making my Phoenix debut. Never played a show in Phoenix, actually. This will be my first time, so pretty stoked about that. And then playing this festival in November on the 9th in Norco, just outside of LA. But yeah, definitely come through if you guys can. Lastly, we got our sponsor, Eargasm Earplugs. If you guys need earplugs for shows, definitely go cop some. Use code Phantom10 for 10% off. All right. So yeah, let's just get cracking here. For those of you who have been here before, you guys know the deal already. For those of you who are new, typically I take these on a first come first serve basis on the Google form, so they're in the order as I receive them. We have a decent amount right now. We only have like 7 submissions, so this might be a pretty quick stream unless we get some more submissions in. If you want to skip the line, you guys are more than welcome to skip the line. You got to use your channel points or send money to the bottom left there, either Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, and you can jump the line. Yeah. So let's just get started here. We have young Eric Mark up first. Then we have Eric Castillo, young Gus. I don't remember who this one is, actually. It doesn't have a name on it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This one is. This is Chris Michael. Nice. Chris Michael. Then we got Collective Unknown, Leonard Ellis, and then Misguided. Again, Misguided, your link is broken. So please try and resubmit, and I can get your tune in. All right. Let's get started. Young Eric first. Nice one. Yeah, super dope. I love this. Love this tune. Super groovy. I love the bass line groove. It basically just makes the whole, it just makes you just want to move, make you want to dance. Exactly what you want. What does the chat have to say? Damn, love this groove. Young Eric said it gets repetitive though. Misguided said that sub is nice and clean. Speech samples seem a bit out of place, only negative in my opinion. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna get into that too. But yeah, let's get into my notes here. Really sick bass line. Love that groove. It's super solid. Um, yeah, really dope vocal. There's a lot of really cool vocals. I think my main issue with the vocal is that it's not present enough. It feels like it's kind of dug underneath the mix. I actually wish it was more audible. So maybe just a little bit louder and kind of like popping through the mix a little bit more. That way I can kind of just understand what's going on with that vocal. Because it does sound pretty cool and it has like this nice like rhythm to it. It feels like it sits in the pocket pretty well. Um, oh, it's from Justin Bieber's Insta story. Oh, that one where he like that's why it's called Crash Out. It's the one where he fucking crashes out and just like starts yelling at people. Um, yeah, no, it's I think it's a really cool vocal and it has like this nice rhythm to it. It fits in the pocket really well. It's just not audible enough and loud enough for me to actually understand what it's saying. So yeah, I think the vocal needs to be like popping out a little bit more. Really nice tension in the build. I really love the drop. Again, love the bass line. This is a really nice tempo too. I tend to like playing around this like 130 area, 130 upwards to 140. Um, so I really like this tempo. It's a really nice tempo. Um, yeah, I do agree that the sub is very clean here. Although I would want the sub to be boosted up a little bit more. I wanted to feel a little bit more low end here. I could definitely feel the low end from the kick, but I feel like the sub could definitely be boosted a little bit more. Um, I really dig the ear candy here. The ear candy is really dope. I really like all the little kind of sounds that are going on in the background. You also do use the vocal as an ear candy kind of element too. But again, the vocal should be more present in the mix. So yeah, that definitely also applies to the drop sections as well. Um, Really nice variations overall and very nice layering. I like these new synths that kind of come in towards the end of the drop sections. Um, I think like it definitely adds like this nice like flow and kind of character that goes like kind of just carries it through the entirety of the drop. So I think that's really nice. And then the switch up in the second break is also really cool. Kind of adds this like nice like mood in there before you dive right back into the second drop. I didn't think that it was getting really repetitive. I think maybe that's just because of the mix, because this tends to be a little bit mid bass heavy on the mix down. Um, so maybe I mean you're getting towards the end of finishing this track from the sounds of it. Basically, you have everything that you need here. You're basically just getting down to that mixing portion of the track because I don't think you need to add or remove anything else. I think it has all the elements that it needs. It really just needs to be kind of just like dialed in and cleaned up. I think it'll be fucking fantastic. Because yeah, from like a songwriting standpoint and an arrangement standpoint, it's exactly where it needs to be. I think really it's just like you have to go in and like you guys need to just like mix it down, make sure like stuff is a little bit more clear and kind of pops. Adding in saturation and that kind of stuff. But yeah, very dope tune. I really dig the vocal here. Really dig the bass line too. Hell yeah, good job, young Eric. All right, yeah, no problem, man. Do we have Eric Castillo? DJ Cast, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Eric Castillo. Eric Castillo going once. Going twice. Alright, no Eric Castillo. Alright, do we got young Crossfades in the chat? Crossfades in the chat. Saw him a second ago. Young Crossfades, you here? I saw you a minute ago. Did you pop out the chat? What's going on? Maybe he's in a commercial? Maybe. Oh, there you are. All right, there he is. Let's do this. Nice one. See the shit with the sheets there in high of Google. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. You also mentioned something that Don Josh accepted to do some days in Florence. Not Florence in USA, right? Yeah, dude, I'm totally down to go back to Florence. Or actually, I haven't been to Florence, but I'm down to go back to Italy. You're my best PR. Nice. Yeah, this is super dope tune, man. I love this. I love this bass line and this groove. The low end is fucking humongous, and I love it. Um, really nice drums, really nice kick. Very well done with the filtering at the beginning there. Really nice way to kind of tease in your elements. I love the synth. The main lead synth is really dope. You got some nice arpeggios in the intro as well. Overall, really nice transitions, especially this first transition going in from the intro into the break section. I was actually kind of surprised by it, but I think in a good way. I was not expecting it to kind of like just basically just fall out like that. But I think it was a nice. It caught me off guard, but in a good way, for sure. Um, I did note here, I do like your main lead, but I think that gets a little bit loud in this first build section. So maybe just a matter of, you know, keeping a filter on it, or maybe a little bit of gain staging so that, you know, um, it's not so loud in this break section, but it gets, I think it's like it's at a good level in the drop, but I think when you introduce it here in the break, it is a little bit loud. Secondly, it's also a bit dry too. I think that main lead is quite dry, and it needs a little bit of reverb to it. Not just in the break sections, but basically overall, just throughout the entirety of the track. I think that main lead needs a little bit of sauce on it, a little bit more processing on it. I do like the sound of it. It's actually really dope, really ravey type of sound. But it definitely needs some reverb. The drop is fat. Again, low end is very nice. This is a pretty relatively short track, but I don't think it needs to be super long. I think it basically is very slimmed down. It's a very effective track. It definitely uses the elements to great effect. I think the arrangement is super solid. I think you handled a lot of these transitions between sections very well. So it's very seamless, very easy, very nice flow. And then the last thing I put here is I think the vocal could make a little bit more of an appearance in the drop sections. I feel like the vocal was a much more minimal aspect in this track. The focus was primarily on the lead and the low end, which obviously that's not a bad thing, but I would have liked to hear that vocal hook a little bit more. Yeah, it's super dope. And you do have like another secondary vocal that comes in here as well. But I would have liked to hear some more vocals in here. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to go crazy with it, like full on phrases, but like little chops here and there. Yeah, just something to kind of just like tie it all together. But yeah, super dope idea, really digging the vibes here. It's very ravey, very energetic. You could definitely see this being played out at like either a club or a festival. I think it's like one of those tracks that's like multi-dimensional, and it can fit in multiple kind of environments. But yeah, super dope tune, Gus. Definitely dig the vibes here. Hell yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Chris Michael, then we got Collective Unknown, then Leonard Ellis, then Misguided, and then this is Eric Castillo. So do we have Chris Michael in the chat? Chris Michael in the chat. Some drum and bass, I'm imagining, with the 174. All right, let's do it. No problem, man.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving. Say you'll be here when your head starts to clear, when I'm drowning, just say you'll jump in. Stay the same, be here, be beginning. All along, they stay in my head. I'm feeling you shifting. For you, I know I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go. Don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain. Say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins. Get off on my loving, 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 loving,
Nice. Yeah, digging the vibes here with this drum and bass tune. I've noticed that you've definitely leaned into more drum and bass as of late. It's really cool. I really dig it. Really loving the arpeggio and the synths in the intro. Really cool sound selection, really cool sound design. Really dig the vocal. I do agree with Leonard Ellis. The vocal was a bit hot to start. I think in the break sections it is a little bit hot, so it is a little bit loud. And maybe that's just more of like a mixing thing. But it has like it works really well in the drop sections because it definitely is quite audible and present. But I think in the break sections it is a little bit loud. It does have some nice processing on it, very nice reverb and delays, very nice respace in the break sections. Nice tension in the build, really solid arrangement. Really dig the drop. It's very energetic. This first drop is very energetic. I like all the layers. I like the sound design, sound selection. Oh, okay. Let me know when it's done. Done. Do 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 do. Ooh. Oh. Do 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 do. All right, Chris Michael's back. Okay, as I was saying, I really dig the arrangement and it has a really nice flow to it. You also did a good job with the transitions here. I did note here that this second break feels a little bit empty right here. Let me see if you can see my cursor. Yeah, particularly this section right here. It felt like didn't feel as full as your intro, like this first break build. So I'm thinking it's probably because it's missing a synth layer or the arpeggio or something.
For you, I know I'd be your one and for you, I know leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain. Say you won't go running.
Yeah, it just feels like something's missing in this portion. I feel like this, for whatever reason, this first break build feels more full as opposed to this second one. So yeah, that's something, just something to think about, especially because you want your second break build and your second drop to be even bigger than the first one. So yeah, definitely kind of keep that in mind. Maybe you're just missing some element that you had in your first break, or yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I really dig this kind of fake out thing you got going on with the second drop. It's a nice touch. Although I do feel like the second drop kind of loses energy as opposed to the first drop, and I think primarily it's with it's in the change of the bassline melody. It kind of feels like it falls a little flat compared to the first drop. Yeah, I think it's just the change up, kind of just like it feels like it falls flat because this one feels so much more brighter and energetic in this first drop, but then when it goes to this second drop, it kind of feels like it falls flat. The second drop almost feels like it should be midway, like change up, like it should be a change up halfway through the drop as opposed to being like right at the beginning of the drop. So you can kind of do something similar to that you did in your first drop, where you have this like really kind of bouncy jump up type of bass, and then like halfway through the drop you can kind of just like do like a variation where you go into like this sort of section. Yeah, and you can just playing back to back like that. you can hear and feel the difference in the energy. But yeah, definitely just something to think about and consider there with your second drop. I think it needs that same energy that you have in the first drop, and then you could dive into like that the variation. But yeah, this is super cool. I really dig this idea. The vocal is very nice. And just some solid drum and bass. Hell yeah. All right. We have Collective Unknown up next. Collective Unknown, you hear. I suppose there any way you could check what I've submitted the last time? Oh man, I probably can't because I don't even remember the last time you submitted, if I'm being honest. So that is going to be difficult to manage. All right. Do we have Collective Unknown? Collective Unknown. Yeah, no problem, Chris Michael. Yeah, RI's. I don't know what you submitted last time. I really couldn't tell you. Collective Unknown, is this you, Josh Henry, or who's Collective Unknown? I remember you said something earlier. You're like, I'm Collective Unknown, da 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 da. Josh Henry, are you Collective Unknown? Who's Collective Unknown? Oh, okay, that's you. All right, cool. Let's give this one a listen. Yeah, super dope. I'm really digging the vibes here. Yeah, really, really nice swing, very solid groove. I love the sound design. Really interesting sound design. Kind of more on like a older dubsteppy sort of vibe. Kind of leaning more into like UK dubstep, which is really cool. That's kind of the stuff that I really fucks with. Very nice drums, kick, snare are very nice. Very good sample selection there. Really nice sub too. The sub is very nice here. Very nice low end, very deep. Um, I really dig these vocal samples that you're using. They're very nice, very clean. Definitely add to like the mood and the theme you got going on here. Very dope synths and sound design overall. Very solid build. Love the energy. Very nice drop. I do think from a mixing standpoint that I think your snare could probably cut through a little bit more in the mix, especially in the drop sections. I think they were at a pretty good level in the break sections, but I think in the drop they need to kind of cut through the mix a little bit more. um, I also think that in the actual drum beat of the drop sections, I think you could probably add in some more kicks, some additional kicks. Um, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of space here, which isn't a bad thing. I think, especially for like bass music, you definitely want space, because that's where you're getting a lot of that kind of swing from. But I do think you could play around with adding in additional kicks to your drum pattern, just to kind of add to the rhythm and the swing, because there is a lot of like really wide open spaces, and I was like I could hear it as I was listening along. I was like, yeah, I could feel like another kick here. Do, ch, do, ch, do, ch, do, ch, do. Yeah, something like that, you know. Um, but overall, really dope drops. I like the energy. I like the sound design. Really cool ear candy. I like the little vinyl scratches you got going on in the second half of the drops. I think those are really nice touch. Very solid ear candies. Very solid arrangement overall. This track was really easy to follow along. It definitely kind of takes you on a journey from start to finish. So really nice, really well done there. Really nice flow. Yeah, and I think the last thing is probably just overall, I think the mix kind of needs a little bit of balancing. It tends to be a little bit lead heavy, like your mid bass is taking up a large part of the mix. So I think maybe it just needs to be balanced out a little bit more. I think your sub and your kick are at a very, very good level. But obviously that snare needs to kind of be brightened up a little bit. And yeah, maybe even those vocals can be in the drop sections. The vocals in the drop sections could be a little bit more audible and forward. Yeah, but overall, really dope tune. This was actually really really enjoyable to listen to. So really good job, Collective Unknown. Super dope tune here. Hell yeah. That Lenny shit. All right, do that Lenny shit. Let's get going. Keep going here.
Lenny. Pop that shit. I'ma do my shit.
checking the time. From the 9 to 5 to the late night grind. Checking the time. Checking the time. From the 9 to 5 to the late night grind.
I'ma do my shit.
From the 9 to 5, late night grind. Grind on party all night.
I'ma do my shit.
From the 9 to 5, late night grind. Checking the time. Checking the time.
Lenny. I'ma do my shit.
Checking the time. 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 Checking the time.
Pop that shit. Do my shit.
Checking the time. Checking the time.
Do my shit.
Checking the time.
I'ma
Checking the time.
that shit. Do my shit.
Checking the time. Checking the time. Checking the time.
Do my shit.
Checking the time.
I'ma
Checking the time. 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 Checking the time.
Lenny. I'ma do my shit.
From the 9 to 5, late night grind. Grind on party all night.
I'ma do my shit.
From the 9 to 5, late night grind. Checking the time. Checking the time.
I'ma do my shit.
Checking the time. Checking the time. Checking the time. Checking the time.
Nice. Hell yeah. Oh, this is a really fun one. This is a super fun tune. Very solid groove, and the vocal works very well here. It definitely, well, both vocals. You have two vocals. You have like a male and you have like a female vocal, but both of them are really doing really good. Offline now. Did I cut out? Bop, 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 bop. Did I cut out? Am I good? Let me know if I'm good or not. Okay, now you're back on. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that I dropped. Yeah, but this is a super dope tune. Young Leonard Ellis, probably one of my favorites that you sent in. Really nice kick. Love the sub here. Very nice bassline groove. I think the bassline groove is like the star of the show here. And you do a good job of keeping it, interesting, adding in variation. So yeah, I think that's a job well done. I really dig the vocals. The vocal, it definitely stands out as like a key player in this track. Both the male and the female vocals work really well. And you did a good job of keeping it interesting too, adding in some like little vocal chops here and there. I think it's really well done. You did a lot of cool stuff with your synth work. So there was a lot of really nice accents and ear candies. So definitely wasn't loopy at all. Definitely did a good job of keeping things interesting. Really easy to kind of listen to. The vocal is also used to really great effect in the drops. Very solid arrangement, and I love the sound design. Pretty much my only piece of feedback here, if I had to be picky, is I would probably shave down the intro and outro, just so you can kind of just dive right into the tune. I don't think you need this like first 8 bars or this last 8 bars. I think you can kind of just, get straight into things. But that's really the only thing that I have. I think everything else here sounds fantastic. I don't hear any glaring issues with this track. And from a songwriting standpoint, it sounds fantastic too. But yeah, super dope tune. Good job, Leonard Ellis. Probably one of my favorites that you sent over. Good job. Hell yeah. All right. Do we got Misguided in the chat? Hey, I'm here. All right. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. All right, let's give this a listen.
The reason you're suffering is because you're gripping too tightly to things that were always meant to flow. You see, life is not a structure to be clung to. It is a river, ever moving, ever changing. And when you try to grasp at it, when you insist on holding tightly to the banks, you create resistance. That tension, that friction, is what we call suffering. It is not unreasonable to desire the same kindness you give to others. But understand this. Your power lies not in demanding reciprocity, but in your ability to walk away without bitterness. When something doesn't feel right, don't force it. Don't rationalize it. Let that unease exist. It is the voice of life itself, whispering through you. That discomfort is intelligence. Do not stay in situations out of fear. Fear of emptiness. Fear of being left behind. For anything born from fear will eventually be undone by love. That is the nature of the universe. What is false cannot be sustained. So let it all pass. Let it all go. You are not here to hold on. You are here to move. You are not here to hold on. You are here to move. 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 You are here to move, to move, to move, to move, to move. You are here to move. An energy flowing through space, through time, through form. And what is truly aligned with you? It will not need to be chased, held down, or fixed. It will flow with you, heal with you, evolve with you.
Yeah, I would recognize Alan Watts' voice anywhere. Um, I think it works really well for this track too. Really good job with the sound selection and sound design. I think the pianos with Alan Watts is it works really well. It feels very contemplative. Oh, okay. When it's done, I'm gonna go pee. Ugh. 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 uh, yeah, I'm basically always in workout attire. It's basically just like my casual gear. Um, are the ads done? Do do do. Tracksuits, nothing else. Are you Slav by any chance? Or British? Okay, ads are done. Okay. Yeah, this is really cool. I think oh you're Irish. Yeah, I guess Irish people use the tracksuits too, huh? Yeah, really nice. Almost immediately, I knew this was Alan Watts. I mean, obviously you have the picture here with Alan Watts, but you know his voice is very unmistakable. What I meant to say. Um, really dig the piano with the Alan Watts. I think it works really well together. I put here the clap is nice. The clap that you picked for this track, but it does have kind of a long tail. I might kind of reel that in a little bit. Just so it's a little bit tighter. Your kick here has some really nice low end. I'm really digging the drop. My only issue with the track is really the sub. I think the sub melody is cool, but I think that the sound that you picked for the sub it makes the mix down kind of muddy, particularly in the low mids, and I'm not getting enough like low end to kind of compensate. So it feels like it's kind of mid heavy and not enough low end, primarily. So I would probably swap. I think the actual sub melody is cool, but I think the sound it needs to be swapped out. So I think it needs to be a little bit cleaner almost. Um, yeah. Because the low mids are a little bit muddy. So just from a mixing standpoint, I think if you swap out the sound, it'll be a lot easier to mix down, and it'll be a lot cleaner. I really dig the vocal in the drop, and very obviously, I think, the mix down is pretty vocal heavy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I would caution against that in the drop sections. I would probably, what I would probably do if this was my track, I would add in some filtering on the vocal, um, and kind of put a little bit of a high pass, do a little bit of a low cut and a high pass, or a high pass, whatever, tomato, tomato. Um, and kind of mute the vocal a little bit in the drop sections, only because you have so many other elements that should probably take priority. But you can play around with the filter. I think you can have some sections where Alan Watts is a little bit more clear, but definitely have some other sections where you kind of mute him a little bit, so he doesn't get so distracting from the actual beat. Yeah, he's very dynamic. Alan Watts is definitely very dynamic with his speech, so he can, and I think it does that. It does that a lot for emphasis. So like, he'll speak kind of softly, and then when he wants to like emphasize something, he'll like kind of belt it almost. He'll definitely get a little bit louder. But you could probably catch a lot of that with like a compressor, so you can kind of normalize a lot of his dynamic range. Yeah, definitely play around with a filter and maybe a little bit more reverb on the Alan Watts vocal, just so that some sections it can be a little bit more front and center, and then other sections you can kind of sit in the background a little bit more. So yeah, play a little bit with both. I think the arrangement here is very, very solid. So yeah, primarily the two main things is the sub needs to be swapped out, sub sound, and then maybe a little bit more filtering and reverb on the Alan Watts vocal. Add in some automation and stuff, yeah, for sure. But yeah, this is a really cool idea. I really especially love the piano with the Alan Watts vocal. I think it works really well. Good job, Misguided. Hell yeah. Okay, do we have Soloquence? Soloquence in the chat. Soloquence. Soloquence going once. Soloquence going twice. No Soloquence. Okay. Let's move on here. Do we have Our Eyes? This might be the last song of the night. All right, this might be the last one of the night, so let's get to it.
I left home, I was scared. Watched my mother cry. She told me, son, life's not fair. The past won't be undone. And all the faces round the room looked down on me like I was doomed. I won't fall. And all the faces round the room, I'll say goodbye, I'll see you soon. I hope to call. It's so long to wait. 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 I feel she made a mistake. Why you gonna walk me away? It's so long to wait. I obviously made a mistake. So why you gonna lock me away?
Hell yeah, dude, this is fucking sick. This is probably my favorite thing that you've sent into the stream, honestly. Yeah, super sick. Really nice vocal. Really dope sound design. Both the first drop and the second drop. I like that there's like a difference in the two also. And the second drop is definitely a lot like bigger than the first one. I think that's really cool. Yeah, just starting from the top here. Very nice vocal. The vocal might be a touch hot in the mix, but I think it's only apparent in the intro. I think once the track starts getting moving, like in the drop sections, the vocal is like very perfect. It fits exactly in context, dynamically. So maybe it's just a matter of kind of doing a little bit of gain staging on the intro, so the vocal sits a little bit lower in the mix coming in, but then once it gets into the drop, like keep it at the level that it's already at right now, for sure. The vocal is also touch dry. I think you could probably get away with adding a little bit more reverb and a touch of delay. You don't have to get too crazy with it, just something to kind of give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, you ripped and isolated from TikTok. Yeah, honestly, it sounds pretty fucking clean for being ripped like that. I think it's really well done. Really nice drum beat. I really dig the drum beat in this. It has like really kind of cool, sort of organic sounding drums. Really cool sounds here. I really dig the synths and the melodies. They had a guitar in the background as well. That's kind of cool. The drop is sick. The drop is absolutely fantastic. I love the sound design. I think the sound design is really well done. There's also some really nice swing too, so kind of forces you to kind of just like move and groove with it. Arrangement's super solid, really easy to follow along. Very nice flow. Very solid transitions. The second drop is just absolutely fantastic. I love the distortion on that main bass. It's pretty fucking huge. And it doesn't get like obnoxious. You know, sometimes you can put too much distortion on something and it's just like, okay. You should probably dial that back. But on this, like, not at all. I think it's actually really well done and it's kind of dialed in pretty perfectly. And then I love all the respaces in here going down. And overall, the mix is pretty clean. I think, yeah, from a mixing standpoint, the only thing that I think needs to kind of be dialed in is the vocal in your kind of quieter sections, your breaks and your builds. Just make sure that they're kind of dialed in a little bit more there. But yeah, this is fucking super dope. Good job, our eyes. Really dope tune. Hell yeah. All right. Did we end up getting Eric Castillo or Soloquince? If not, we're gonna call it quits. Eric Castillo or Soloquince, or this last minute submission from Breaker. Any of these guys here? Eric Castillo, Soloquince, or Breaker? Yeah, no problem, man. Do 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 do. Breaker just joined. You came right on time. I was just making a last call for tracks. Yeah, I just got it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna do Breaker as our last track, and then we're gonna call it quits. Do I want to do a double? I mean, not necessarily, but I mean, okay. If you have a double, we can do a double. I'm not opposed to it. But yeah, let's get Breaker in first, and then we can listen to another tune.
Too risky, too uncontrolled. Saved his life. The after effects are all them. We've lost the urge to experiment, to explore. To explore on people.
One unheard message. First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m. End of message. To delete this message, press 7. Message deleted. First skipped message sent Tuesday, April 8 at 10. Message deleted. Next message sent to. Message deleted. Next message sent Friday, April 11 at. Message deleted. End of messages.
I used to live in the struggle, but now I live in luxury. Champagne bottles popping, models all around me. My hustle never stopped, and my grinding things now. Living a life that most of people can't believe. I used to live in the struggle, but now I live in luxury. Champagne bottles popping, models all around me. My hustle never stopped, and my grinding things now.
Nice. Yeah, dude, I'm really digging this whole kind of like hip hop juxtaposition with dubstep. It's a really I mean, I don't listen to too much dubstep myself. It's not really not necessarily my cup of tea, but I think it's a really cool idea. I really fuck with the hip hop stuff. I really dig the sampling. The chords are very nice. They're fantastic. And then adding in a lot of those like different like vocal samples is also very nice. I love the chords and the samples. Very dope intro. Love the strings and all the other kind of samples that you're using here. My roommate's dog is just barking like fucking crazy right now. I love this hip hop beat you got going on. It's really fucking great. I really love the hip hop kind of stuff you got going on here, both in the intro, the build, and then the second break build as well. So I don't listen to enough dubstep to be kind of any sort of expert by any means. So I don't know really like the ins and outs of what people really enjoy from that style of music. I can only speak from an overarching kind of songwriting standpoint. I think that the sound design is really fucking cool. It's very heavy and kind of just like pretty typical of what I would hear from like kind of like bass music. I really like the call and response. You have like this really crazy kind of mid bass, and then it kind of is accented by these like really cool chord stabs, which is really cool. I really dig the chord stabs. Really fucking cool. My only main issue is that the drum beat kind of feels disjointed from a lot of the sound design. So it kind of feels like the drum beat is a little, there's kind of pockets of randomness. Hey, shut up. Hey. God, this dog won't shut up. All right. Sorry about that. What I would say is to kind of get your drum beat and the drop sections to get a little bit more in line with the hip hop beat almost, because I feel like you're pretty much setting up the track around, you're kind of building this track around that kind of hip hop idea. And I feel like if you were more in line with the hip hop kind of drum beat, I mean, it would probably fall in line with dubstep too. I don't think it's gonna be that much of a stretch to use kind of the same drum beats on your dubstep sections or something similar. But right now it kind of feels a little bit disjointed. I don't think the kind of juxtaposition of the hip hop and dubstep is too unfamiliar with each other, but I think you can kind of connect the two by keeping the drum beat a little bit more consistent is the word. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I think that's the move. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a really fucking cool idea. Lots of energy here. Really love the hip hop sections. Good job, Breaker. Super dope tune. Super dope idea. All right, do we got Richie V? Richie V in the chat. Richie V. Looks like this one's already out though. We only take private tracks. So since this is already released, we're gonna skip it. All right, Misguided. This is gonna be the last one for sure. I'm gonna call it quits. I gotta handle some stuff myself. So Misguided, you still here? Misguided. Misguided still here. Yeah, okay. All right, this is the last one of the night from Misguided.
Proceed on present speed and trajectory.
Nice, dude. Super sick. I think it's a really cool idea. Obviously, this is just a whip, but there's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. I like the drum beat. First and foremost, I think the drum sound selection is really nice. That kick snare combo is very good, very good, very well done. Really cool sound design overall. I think it works really well. You have a lot of really cool ear candy sounds as well. As well as a lot of really cool kind of vocals you picked here. So I think also from a arrangement standpoint, this is pretty cool. I really dig where the arrangement is right now. Probably the only thing that I would change is that I really love this outro melody. I feel like that should have been placed in the second break, as opposed to at the end there. I think that would be really, really dope to have it in the middle of the track as opposed to at the very end when the track is basically ending. And then the other main thing that I noticed here is that the subline melody should be more consistent. It feels like it's not kind of disjointed. It's not really giving us like a really solid melodic foundation. It's kind of just like really stabby. And I think it's probably because it's following your main lead. It might need to like kind of deviate a little bit off of that, just so that it doesn't feel so kind of just like me. I think it needs to be a little bit more consistent. Probably more legato notes as opposed to like really staccato. So that's definitely something to consider for the main drop sections. Yeah, some more drums in the breakdown or bring in sooner. I think you could definitely put more drums in the breakdowns. Just be careful with having too many elements in your breakdown sections. So if it starts to get a little bit too busy and too hairy, then kind of pull it back. But you can always mess around with adding in drums and then putting in like a automated filter. That would be a really easy way to kind of keep things kind of mellow and tame in your breakdowns. But yeah, definitely play around with it. See what works best. But I think for right now, this is a very strong idea. Definitely worth developing further. Good job, Misguided. All right. That was the last one of the night. I got to get some music work done myself. But I will be back again next Monday, same time, same place. 7 p.m. Pacific time here on Twitch. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday night. Excuse me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you guys next week. Make sure to follow me on the things. Join the Discord if you would like to as well. And I will